I was 63 years old, standing in my kitchen at 2 in the morning, staring at an engagement ring on my finger and crying in a way I had not cried since my husband died. Not because I was happy, because something deep inside me was screaming that I was about to make the worst mistake of my life. My name is Dorothy. I am 70 years old, and what I am about to tell you, I wish someone had told me before I almost lost everything I had spent a lifetime building. Stay with me, because if you are a woman over 60 and there is a man in your life asking you toward marriage, you need to hear this before you say yes. When Robert died, I lost more than a husband. I lost the shape of my entire life. 29 years, gone. The grief was physical. It lived in my chest like something heavy and permanent. The coffee cup on his side of the sink, the news on too loud from the other room, the particular way he said my name. For 4 years I was just surviving. And then I met Gerald. He was attentive, warm. He remembered small things. And for the first time in 4 years, I felt seen again. We dated 14 months. He proposed on a Saturday evening in April, and I said yes, because I was lonely, because I was flattered, and because my whole life I had been taught that a woman alone is a woman who has failed. I spent 7 months planning that wedding, and slowly, quietly, I began to see things I had not seen before. The way he called my house his house before we were even married. The way my savings became our savings in every conversation. The way my routines, my mornings, my choices were suddenly up for discussion. And one night, sitting alone at my kitchen table, I understood something that cracked me open. I was not gaining a partner. I was trading my freedom for the feeling of being chosen. I called off that wedding 11 days before it happened. And it is one of the wisest things I have ever done in my life. What I learned from that experience and from watching women I love make this decision are 4 things that nobody tells you honestly about remarrying after 60. 4 things that could save you from pain I have seen destroy women's final years. The first is money, and I will not apologize for starting there. When you remarry after 60, your financial life becomes legally bound to another person. Your retirement savings, your home, your Social Security benefits, your estate, all of it. My friend Beverly remarried at 66. She did not get a prenuptial agreement because it felt unromantic. Within 3 years, her husband needed serious medical care. The costs came from their shared assets, money Beverly had saved across 40 years of her life. When he passed, his children from a previous marriage contested the estate. Beverly spent 4 years in legal proceedings. She told me afterward, "Dorothy, I gave away everything I built because I was afraid of seeming cold. Please, speak to an estate attorney before you speak to a florist. Know exactly what you are agreeing to before you agree to anything." The second thing nobody tells you is about caregiving. After 60, health changes, and when you are married, you become responsible for another person's health journey as well as your own. My friend Patricia married at 65. She imagined travel, companionship, late love. What she got was 5 years of medical appointments, medication schedules, and a loneliness she told me was worse than anything she had known alone, because it was loneliness with someone in the house. She loved him. That is what makes it so painful. She loved him genuinely. But the weight of it consumed every dream she had saved for her 60s. Before you give those years to someone else's decline, ask yourself honestly, not what you hope for, what you are prepared for. Now I want to stop, because I know what some of you are thinking right now. You are thinking, Dorothy, you don't understand what it is like to come home to silence every single evening. I do understand. I promise you I do. That loneliness is not just an emotion. It lives in your body. It is an ache that wakes you at 3 in the morning and sits with you at the dinner table and follows you through every ordinary moment of the day. I am not telling you to be alone forever. I am not telling you love after 60 is foolish. I am telling you there is a profound difference between having love in your life and signing a legal contract that changes everything about your life. You can have companionship without marriage. You can have love without losing yourself. You are allowed to design love on your own terms now. You do not have to follow rules written for 28-year-olds starting from nothing. The third thing is about who you have become. After loss, most women go through something painful and extraordinary. They discover who they are when no one else is watching. What they enjoy, how they like their mornings, what silence feels like when it belongs to them, what they are capable of when they answer only to themselves. That woman is precious, and she is fragile in ways she does not always realize, because love makes merging feel like choice. And slowly, without seeing it happen, a woman can lose herself again. His schedule, his preferences, his family's expectations, his idea of how a home should run. One morning she wakes up and the self she rebuilt so carefully is buried somewhere under all the accommodation. After 60, you have earned the right to be fully, unapologetically yourself. Please do not trade that for the feeling of being chosen. The fourth thing is time, and this is the one that keeps me up at night when I think of women I love who did not hear this soon enough. At 30, a mistake costs you time you have plenty of. You recover. You rebuild. You try again. At 67, the arithmetic is different. If you marry and it is wrong, and you know it is wrong by 69, and the untangling takes 2 years, you have spent 4 years inside something that diminished you. 4 years you cannot get back. 4 years that were supposed to be yours. Those years do not come back. I'm not saying this to frighten you. I am saying it because you deserve to be clear-eyed, not closed, not bitter, just honest with yourself about what a mistake costs at this stage of life. The question is not only, is this love? The question is this love worth what I am being asked to give for it? I called off my wedding 11 days before October, and every year on the day it would have been, I do something entirely for myself. A trip, lunch with a friend I love, or I simply sit in my garden with my coffee and my quiet life, and I think, thank you. Thank you for listening to that whisper. Here is what I want to leave you with today. You do not owe anyone a marriage. You do not owe anyone your savings, your freedom, your identity, or your remaining years as proof that you are not alone. A woman who has survived loss, rebuilt her life, and learned to protect what she has built is not a woman who has failed at something. She is one of the strongest things I have ever seen. If the right love comes, the kind that adds to your life without subtracting from it, the kind that asks nothing you are not glad to give, then receive it with open hands, but receive it on your terms, at your pace, with your eyes fully, bravely open. You have earned that. Every single year of your life, you have earned exactly that. One more thing before you go. Something I have never heard anyone say plainly enough. The world will pressure you. Friends will introduce you to men with good intentions. Your children may feel relieved when you find someone. There is still an unspoken belief, even now, that a woman alone is somehow unfinished. That belief is a lie. A woman of 60 or 65 or 70 who knows who she is, who protects what she has built, who chooses her days with intention and her people with care, she is not unfinished. She is finally, completely, beautifully herself. And that is worth protecting with everything you have. A man who is right for you will never ask you to choose between him and yourself. He will never make you feel that your caution is coldness or that your boundaries are rejection. He will be glad you know your own worth, because a man who is right for you will know yours too. So go slowly, ask hard questions, watch carefully over time, and trust the quiet voice inside you that has kept you alive through everything you have already survived. That voice has never been wrong about the things that truly mattered. Listen to it now. I think about the women I have known who did not get this warning. I think about Margaret, who remarried at 68 and spent the next 6 years invisible inside someone else's life, who stopped painting, which she had loved since she was a girl, who stopped seeing her closest friends because he preferred evenings at home, who told me 3 years in, very quietly over tea, that she felt like a guest in her own remaining years. She is not a foolish woman. She is one of the wisest women I know, but she was lonely. And loneliness makes us vulnerable to things we would otherwise see clearly. These are not cautionary tales I invented. These are women I have sat across from at kitchen tables, women who loved genuinely and were still harmed, not by monsters, by circumstances that marriage made inescapable. This is why I'm speaking to you today, not to make you afraid, but to make you informed, because informed women make different choices. You deserve a good ending. You have worked for it your entire life. Do not let anyone, no matter how charming, no matter how much he feels like the answer to the ache, take it from you without you fully understanding what you are giving. Go in with open eyes, or do not go in at all. That is not coldness, that is wisdom. And at 70 years old, wisdom is the most romantic thing left. If something today touched you, please leave a word in the comments. I read every one. Share this with a woman you love who needs to hear it.